John Fitch wanted more for himself than the hard-scrabble life he was born to. First, he abandoned the family farm in Connecticut, then an unhappy wife, and in 1769 set off on a restless adventure.
There's nothing he won't do. He serves in General Washington's army, he goes to sea, he learns to be a silversmith, he learns to make brass, he learns to make potash in a factory, he starts smuggling tobacco to the soldiers in the war, and then spends his time wandering through the forest, making maps.
America had land for the taking. Horse and muscle power would only get you so far on the few trails and primitive roads. Settlers and traders took to the waterways. But it was slow, tough going.
The highways of the time weren't necessarily rivers. But if you were moving goods to Kentucky and Tennessee and you wanted to bring some back, agricultural produce, for example, there's a major problem. The river on one leg of the journey or another was going to be going in the wrong direction.
You had to pole and pole against the current, and men would pull on the banks. It was a nightmare. What used to happen was that the boats sailed down the Mississippi, and when they got to New Orleans, they broke them up rather than try and go back. So commerce was stultified.
John Fitch survived his Indian capture, but the problem of travel upriver stayed on his mind. A horse could pull a carriage uphill. No such means worked well for a boat. But if there were some kind of power on board, like the steam engine now being built in England. Fitch had, in fact, never seen a steam engine. There were only 3 in all America, immense structures used to pump water from mines. Now, gripped by the notion, he unearthed a drawing of an early British design. Fitch admired the mechanical dexterity of a drinking partner, a German clockmaker named Henry Voigt. After several meetings and a good deal of rum, Voigt agreed to join Fitch to try and invent a steam engine small enough to fit in a boat. But they had no money.
The United States had very few very wealthy men, very few people with deep pockets. Wealth was relatively evenly distributed. That was a terrific advantage for a republic that believes in equality. It was a potential disadvantage for entrepreneurs. There were no venture capitalists.
Fitch was not of the merchant or gentry class, so it was hard for him to raise money in snobbish Philadelphia. Finally, he got $300 by selling shares in his steamboat company at $20 a pop. It was just enough to get started. The British would no longer sell their technology to the former colonies, so the partners were forced to build an engine from scratch. The fit of the parts wasn't perfect, but it more or less worked. They still didn't know how to harness the engine's power to make the boat move. A chain of paddles proved wholly inadequate, while propellers produced more bubbles than thrust. Benjamin Franklin said that a pump could be made to move a boat, a form of jet propulsion. Fitch decided to see for himself. Though inventive in concept, it was hopeless in practice. I know of nothing so perplexing and vexatious to a man of feelings, Fitch declared, as a turbulent wife and steamboat building.